Hey, little floof. Let me shake the ground beneath you. Okay, guys. So I wanted to discuss a very, excuse me. I wanted to discuss a very interesting topic that has been flowing through my head a lot recently. It has to do with audio, sound, and our devices we call speakers to translate audio. Okay. So today's subject matter is just a small bit technical. We're not going to get too technical because tech will always be changing and evolving into better until it is completely one absolute. So you'll find out, in the next few years what that looks like. And what a time to be alive for artificial intelligence to be telling us exactly who we are. And based on stats, like there's a lot of humans out there, so I guess you could really narrow. We wouldn't know who we are if there was only one person here. So in a sense of the word, no, there was no Adam and there was no Eve, because Adam is just a derived word from the beginning of what everything is. An atom, atom. Okay. Eve. Evolve. I mean, it's not that hard to see that everything that is everything can be said as your own perception of it, right? Like a cat could look like a lion to someone, or a cat could look like the smallest, cutest little animal, right? You see it as fierce, but yet you see it as cute. That's the reason why the cat's prides, and I'm just using that as an example, but cats, their pride is level, not extreme, not way down to where they just let you scratch their belly without putting their claws out, right? And different ways, like when they play with you, that's their way of telling you, I see you like myself. And what a better message from your pet, right? But that's that's just one little example. La 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 la. Anyway, so speakers, right? So back into that. We're not going to get too technical. I'm just going to lay out something for you guys to understand when it comes to the audio-driven devices. It can look like a shaker. It can look like a fan blade. It can look like anything that has the ability to move at the same frequency spectrum as your music and push the air around it. Okay. So that's how we're going to start this video. That's how we're going to start as a form of, in a formula of how does sound purify? Okay, so everybody's been looking at this external figure, right? As, most majority of the world is trying to concoct in their brain. I mean, there's plenty of people that are on the same page with me, and there's plenty of people that absolutely hate my guts for what I say. You're gonna have both in your world. You're gonna have both. And everyone, including myself, deals with that, right? So that's something that's not gonna go away. So yes, letting go is in a form of moderation. Yeah, you have to let go. I have to let go of the steering wheel of life, but I can't let go of the steering wheel when I'm driving down the road. It's really simple math. But I mean, we're not talking about anything like too major, like with, if you are constantly white knuckled in your life, then life is going to be white knuckled on your ass. And I mean that like very as professional as I can come off with that. I'm not trying to say like in any kind of that form. I mean, just life's going to come after you. Life's going to come after you if you keep white knuckling everything. So when I say letting go, don't let go of the steering wheel. Don't let go of the physical body that's trying to get you through this. Bless it. How do you bless something? You simply belong around it. So when we say blessings, that's been, I think, mistranslated. I mean, our English language really can only do so much for us to translate. How long does this YouTube video have to go, right, for me to get a point across? I have to use a lot of language, and I'm using, like I was telling my beautiful lady today, I was saying how this language that we're using, English, is what everybody says is the hardest language, but yet that's what every language says about any other language that's not theirs. It's hard because you're having to let your guard down in a way and sound silly. That's why, like, I spoke to a Polish person a few years back, and this person was like, through their body, they were telling me that I don't mean to sound silly, you know, and I'm like, yes, no, you are not silly. You are silly in, you know, the context of your personality, and I really enjoy that about you, but I'm not looking at you any kind of judgmental way because that would be bad on my part. So I'm not going to do that to you. What I'm going to do is encourage you that, yeah, I don't understand my language either, right? I take on the same burden as this other person if they can't get the point across. But what I'm saying that for is, as far as translation goes, audio is always running at whatever drive out of that driver of what you want, right? So you got country music, or you have electronic music and Arabian music. You have all these beautiful cultures of music. Every single one of them has their purpose. And purpose, I mean, what, with all the files we have today, I mean, come on, how many files did you have on your MP3 player or your Walkman or whatever? You know, kudos to Sony for that. I love the Walkmans. The Walkmans are enlightening. So drivers, speakers, loud boxes, loudspeakers, sirens. We will talk about sirens in this subject matter, and it has a part to play. Okay, so let's talk about a siren, just something well known, a police siren. Listen to that sound in your head right now. A police siren. Okay, now listen to a horn from a saxophone. Okay, so you have these two different instruments used for two different type of drive, right? So if everyone's driven by what they listen to, and that's completely big, I know that's completely like out there to say, but it really is simply this. And I'll completely step over all that and just let you know that no matter what in this life, you will not be able to stop listening. Deaf people can still hear, just not how you can. So when they sound silly and they are hearing something else, that noise in the spectrum of their head that they hear is much different than what is important to you. So, a saxophone, all they can do is read words on it, and that's the perspective we have, people, is the fact that you should be thankful that you can hear, right? So, you should be thankful to your ears because they're always the number one. You can close your nose. You can stop breathing to close your nose. You can close your eyes. I can close my mouth. But physically, if I didn't have any arms and legs, I wouldn't be able to stop what? Feeling and hearing. So if that's really all there is in, this body that we have, that we're given, right? We're given this body passed down from our parents, then you should probably not overindulge in certain substances that aren't edifying. So when I say that, I mean, obviously everybody knows you're going to look for what makes you feel better. But look for what makes you feel better from all angles. So if you care about your kids, if you care about your grown-up parents, right? Like if you're a teenager and you're looking up, or if you're a parent and you're looking down, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what role you have in this life. You're still a person perceiving everything. Always hearing, always seeing. You're always seeing things that are disturbing to you. Why? I'll get to that in a minute. Well, when we talk about sirens, right, everybody can say that my speakers in my living room, or the little, if you have one, a Bluetooth speaker or a speaker that just jumps back and forth to your liking. On a scale, we look at that as small. We can take a hammer and we can destroy it, right? We can destroy the driver, the speaker. We can get rid of it. We can shut it up. So we have control of that speaker, right? And I know that I'm speaking way too oversimplified, but there is a point to this. We'll call it a siren for the matter of the scale of the point I'm wanting to get across. Sirens are used to warn. Sirens are also used as a form of protection. If I didn't know there was a tornado coming, they have this thing called sirens that gives us those few minutes that would save a life, correct? And the sirens that are coming up behind you, trying to pull you over with the blue lights on, are not trying to siren you off to your demise. They're trying to siren you off because, hey, we need to stop and we have to talk about this. Why do cops pull you over? Is because they have to stop and issue you your result to your bad decision. And if you don't understand the road rules, you probably shouldn't be on the road. And if you are rebellious toward the road to the road rules, it means you're confused. You don't know where to go. You're just rebellious because you haven't figured it out yet. Now, if you want your result, you have to rebel to the one that wants to run someone off the road. That's you. You want to run somebody off the road sometimes. You want to hit your gas and you just want to and just watch it happen, right? And maybe if not do it, at least get close to doing it somewhat, right? Everybody knows that feeling. If you've driven a car, you know that feeling. And I say that because I understand that by a teenage year, you've already got a phone so you could listen to this video, and the rest of your life, it's free for all, and it'll always be that way. So, which is good. So, free for all. Hello. Here you go, guys. Not one for all. It's a free for all. Freedom for all. Take it into consideration that these sirens are warning your soul and your power source. I will say your power, right? Your powerful nature, your nature of, if you're a man, you are very much involved in what you're interested in. And then if you're a beautiful female, a beautiful woman, you are of this power source that is double the man. Now, I say that with full confidence because I have to understand that if it wasn't for the woman, what would I be doing right now? Absolutely nothing, because I wouldn't exist. I have the woman to thank for bringing me here. The woman as in my mother. Now, my mother is the name, the role that's given in this world. We have a parent that brings us here. But it goes to a point where you have to wonder if we are here. I mean, that's the question that's been asked over plenty of centuries. Why are we here? Well, maybe we've been asking it the wrong way. If we can't figure out, here's where I'm really trying to get my point across. If you can't figure out what you want, how do you expect a result? How do you expect a result? Everybody's just swinging at that point. You're just swinging at life. I don't know what I want because I don't give myself the opportunity to take a break, listen, and go, wait, I'm doing this wrong. Because I tell myself that all the time. I'm like, wait, okay. But a productive person says, I'm doing this wrong, so I'm going to try and correct what I did so that it's fixed next time. Well, I know all those things are, kind of obvious factors, but when it comes to the sirens that we have in this life, I want to put more emphasis on those beautiful speakers, hi-fi stereos, subwoofers, tweeters. Why do we have these things, these devices that drive air? They're just air pumps. My years in production and being exposed, because the best kind of education is exposure. You don't get experience unless you've got exposure to involvement. That is the only kind of, and that's why you have to kind of mimic that from a larger scale with a bunch of people in one building. You have to mimic what isn't happening. One man stands up on a stage and he teaches a bunch of people, and these people are still confused when they leave because they don't have all the answers. Now, we have these beautiful speakers to drive our favorite types of music, as well as just noise. Some people can listen to noise on their phone and be just fine. And then the other guy wants to have a full-on, surrounding fountain that gives a sound that is in its purest form. He didn't have to get a speaker. He put water across a flat surface, which represents the most purest of existence. So that form, right? Because it is formless. Bruce Lee. Be like water, my friend. Right? I mean, I wasn't even born in that time frame, but I'm just taking y'all's word from it of, hey, look for the right things, ask the right questions, and you will receive if it's the right question. That's what everybody mixes up. It's not ask and you shall receive. That makes no sense. If I asked my YouTube video right now, the people that are listening, if I asked my YouTube video right now, can you give me a Ferrari and put it in my front yard, please? If I asked that question, you would look at me like I'm crazy because I just asked a phone, can you put a Ferrari in my backyard? That doesn't do that. That doesn't happen. As long as it's done that way, it'll never happen that way. You can't ask for something and just receive it. That is the most spoiled brat mentality. Ask and you shall receive. Boss, I believe I deserve a raise. Like, don't tell your boss, hey, can I get a raise? Or even if you said it right, you went through this whole spill. Can I have a raise? Can I get my family to where it needs to be? Can I get to my first truck? Can I help my grandkids out? Can I do those things? You look at it from all these angles of life, and you're just like, asking does not get you what you want. You know what gets you what you want? Letting go of it. And then finding every reason to fight for it. Now, I know that sounds backwards. But hear this portion out. I can oversimplify it to its bottom line core. You can let go of something. So let's use an example. You just want that Ferrari. You want a nice, joyous yellow with some black wheels, with some yellow stitching within the black leather. Everybody's mouths start watering. If you're a Ferrari person, I don't educate myself on Ferraris because I'm educating myself on helping everybody else. A Ferrari doesn't really help me. I've got a vehicle. So the Ferrari, everybody wants a Ferrari, right? You want that Ferrari. We'll just use that as a mental example of like something you would like out of your life. We'll just use the yellow Ferrari as an example. And I can't help but see that when you are completely involved in wanting something, like when you're in a state where you're like, I really want something and I'm gonna fight for it, right? Like when you're in that state, which everybody gets to, you know that asking for it is not gonna get it for you. It's like that thing my coworker told me today. He said, which I was very proud of him for saying, he said, no, because that would lead, I would have to ask for permission, and I didn't want to do that. And I'm like, yeah, because asking for something never gets you what you want. Taking into consideration all the factors and then taking. So what I mean is, letting go is a form of, I have to be ready to be okay with if this doesn't work out, right? If I can't get the yellow Ferrari, right? And I know majority of Ferraris are typically painted red, but we're picturing it as something it is in existence, but it's not as promoted, right? But you really like that color because you're special. You're allowed to have your own tastes, right? So then you have this thing where you have to be able to let it go in order to receive as well as achieve. Achieve comes first and then receive. You have to fill out the forms at the dealership and get through the achievement process. You have to have money to at least put something down on it to help yourself out, to just have it done. It's not really helping you because there are just $200 vehicles sitting in somebody's backyard right now. So you're looking at both ends of the scale of this result that you want. It doesn't matter the scale of the result. Let go of the result first. And if everything is considerable, and if everything's lining up in your head as to, yeah, this would make sense, that equals stopping and listening to maybe it's not a good idea. That result you want, let's say a job down the street that you're really hoping is going to reach out to you. TikTok, they're not reaching out to me, and my money is slowly dwindling away, as everyone goes through, right? In some shape or form, somebody is losing something right now because they know, oof, I gotta give my time towards something else. There is a letting go there that happens. I have to let go of my beautiful woman every day, and it is like a death to me. But not in a sense of what is that? Over possession or over, like, I don't objectify anything. Like, even my speakers in here, I treat with pretty, for what they do, I don't put them in a place where they could get damaged. Letting go, and then your result will be achieved. Letting go and then planning is how you get your results. So what I'm saying is, and I'm not trying to sound like one of those I would love to just coach you guys on a form you love. Play on words there. Form you law. Like, there's plenty of different languages that are embedded into even just the word formula that is deriven from just living. It's a form of living. It's a life form. It's achieving life. It's right. So everybody that comes into this world kind of needs that second person to bounce off of, to feel like, wow, I don't feel alone in this. Therefore, loneliness does not exist. But I had it to be thankful for, so that I could stop and listen to a YouTube video. I had the quiet to be thankful for. My quiet time was like gold to me. I still take it like gold. I hate being the one talking, because what's not said is always much more important. Your loved one does not have to tell you they love you in order for you to know it. Whether you decide to say it or not is completely up to you in your own timing, because it'll be right, because it was best for you at that time. You are valid for feeling like you were attacked at some point, right? And I say this as in, like, everybody's scale. You all are seeing this life that's, this system in place, everything that's in front of you, the jobs, the churches, the management. I mean, the management across the board, like all the way up the scale. You look at all the management, none of it's together because nobody has it together. You want to know what that looks like? Come to my house and I will talk to you, and I really just don't want anything from you. I just want to talk to you. Is that too much to ask in this generation? Apparently so, from plenty of other examples. I want to be involved in you. I want to see you grow. And I know how to get you there. And that's the person you really do need to go to, and for me, I'm talking about for myself. I have to go to a person that knows more than me. And who is that? You all. You all know more than me. Because if there were two heads in the room right now, and they were telling me, Devin, you need to stop using speakers to translate like what's in your head, because you're too transparent. You're speaking too much. That's got me upset, right? That looks like earplugs, that looks like speakers, that looks like line array systems, concert stages. Yeah, from all scales, little earbuds to a large concert stage, both ends, if my voice was speaking, would make somebody mad because both ends you can still understand me. And I say that to say that if these two people told me to stop using speakers for the rest of my life, there's two people, not just one. It doesn't take 2 million, it just takes two to tell you to stop, listen. And I go, okay, if two people are telling me, I stop and listen. I'm not easily influenced. I just stop and listen. You're not influenced, you're just oppressed by unfortunately, a human face that can give you a face of rejection. So, like, that face that's like, no, 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 or something that you've experienced before with these adults pointing their finger at you or hurting you, blatantly just ugly to you. You know it's ugly. You see that it's ugly. So if those two people tell you to stop, you should probably stop and listen. But then if those two people aren't backed with any kind of tangible, truistic statements, you have to stop and consider, man, well, unfortunately, even though you two are of importance in this matter, I'm choosing not to listen to you because I know you have nothing to back it. Your evidence. So when I say speakers are very important, I mean, and I mean this at like from its bottom line, and I don't mean like I'm contradicting myself. I'm sticking to my same statement. Speakers are very important because all we can do is listen to what's above us. And that's not to say we are just this race of humans that are just making it around here, like winging it. Why are people calling it, we're just winging it, we're just winging life? Because people really are. You have people that are in relationships right now that are just in a relationship for convenience, called, we're just winging this and seeing if it works. Truistic relationships look like certainty. Certainty is what scares people. Certainty is of the unknown in their world. And so what does something that looks different to a human, what do we automatically want to do? Well, primalistically speaking, we want to destroy it because it is different than us. So we take on, like, let's say an alien walked into the room for you and he physically showed up in the room. You would be like, oh, should I be scared? Should I get up and run away? Your brain starts going into this primalistic state instead of being like, how are you today? How is your body in here today? Why can't you ask just questions like that to a person that looks different than you? And if a person looks either both scales, more attractive or less attractive than you, if you're looking at both ends of the scale of like that person looks bad, that person looks good, you're viewing it from a person who thinks that about themselves. I think everybody's beautiful. I think that everybody that I work with right now has the potential to run a country. They do. They have the potential because I've seen my workers, my people that I'm around. I say my workers, I mean just, well, I'm involved in it, so guess what it is? It's mine. If I didn't want to do it, I have all the right reasons why I do it. But if I didn't want to do it, for all the right reasons. I wouldn't be there. So you guys going to work is extravagant in these times. And those of you that are working remote jobs, you're already ahead of the game. You're in it already. You're in the next stage of what it's all becoming. The becoming, excuse me. So I wanted to put that emphasis on speakers, mainly because this is a time where there's a lot built. There's a lot of speakers in place. We keep making and manufacturing, keep pumping them out there. We've had more speakers than an iPhone 15, haven't we? We've had more speakers than a flat screen TV. People were first to audio because that's what you do first before anything in your day. When you wake up and you're out of your subconscious and you come back to this world, you're like, oh, I came back. Here I am, honey. Or here I am, kids. Here. Who? Okay, just give me a second. I got to get focused in here from everything that's back here that's trying to look out these eyeballs. My woman told me, just the other day, you were just so sleeping and you looked at me, but you were looking through me. And I laughed so hard because she was so funny about the way she presented it. And it was like, she says, honey, you looked through me. When I heard that, I was like, then I wasn't there because I always love to look at you. I mean, that's the thing. If you can't love looking at that person every day for just the simple fact that you love looking at them, not what they can give you, not the production that you could see out of that person, no. Just something beautiful, something that adds to you. And I say something loosely. I don't mean like women are in any bit that category. Women are the absolute of creation itself. They are the absolute because you can't, as a guy, you can get parts installed into you. You can't install your own parts. That just doesn't happen. Now, your mental state, yes, you can choose whether or not you are a woman or a man, but nobody else sees you that way because it took you time to realize, oh, I came into this life with these parts, but I'm not sure of what I feel like I am. It's because you don't know yourself. But that's okay because nobody's rushing you to figure it out. Well, I will never rush you to figure out who you are because it does take time. It took me time, right? But you have to see that there is something in that space between you knowing and not knowing. Truism. Truistic. What is true is always going to be. Now, other cultures and religions have figured out that statement, but they don't know what it means. They don't know what it means to exist. They don't want to exist here. They want to go to some higher place, which is not bad to think about if you think about it. If you want heaven versus hell, good on you. If you want Elysium and not Hades, good on you. If you want to get away from this world and you want to step above it, what is a step above? I want to lay this out for you clearly. What is a step above? Lay out this like movie or like a comic book in your head or something that you love literature. Like all comic books are and all movies are is just modern day literature. So if we have all this in front of us, shouldn't it inspire us? Well, if you can't put all the pieces together properly the right way, then you're not going to see it clearly. You're not going to see it clearly of what it is. You don't want ever. You don't ever want to see yourself fail. That's what everybody's afraid of. Guess what? And everybody handles that pain a little bit differently. You don't want to live this life and fail. And people that think that way are everywhere. Everybody just has different tastes, different formations, formalities that they go through to get their results that they want, right? Every church, every stadium, every coliseum had some sort of a speaker involved. Now we're able to put them in our homes, we're able to put them in our workplaces, we're able to put them in our ears. The first place we go to for what is real. Here's where I want to cap off this video. And I hope that this is encouraging, because I hope it's laid out in a formula that you can see clearly that on my previous statement and my previous formulas, if you're a person that does not want to fail, then you want success, but that success you have to be willing to let go of. Quit fighting for that success and fight for just the simple idea of the success. And that's where everything starts. You start your day out thinking about, what am I going to do today? What do I have to do today? Your brain automatically goes into that mode because you're already firing off everything you got to do today. And whether that looks small or big, or you own the country, it doesn't matter what that level of stress is when you wake up in the morning. Oh my God, I got to do this, right? Everybody processes that. How you start your day is how you start that thought. Are you starting that thought based on a full-on negative attitude, or are you jumping in on a positive space and involving yourself in success? You involve yourself in success when your mind already starts there before anything. Start on success first. That's my full-on cap off to the video. Start with success first, but understand that it's achievable through letting it go. So to even cap off my speakers, right, my speaker subject matter, is that when there's speakers everywhere, your voice feels obsolete. You feel like you're not important. When somebody records you on a camera, you don't like the sound of your voice, because that microphone is not truly picking up the beautiful essence of your voice. I try not to come off a certain way to certain people in this culture, but I love to hear their voice. So I will find every which way in your conversation to get you sparked up and get you interested, because I want to hear your voice, not hear what is not your voice. When I walk into a building and it's all quiet, I enjoy that building's quiet, like it's a voice. And then when my coworker steps into the room, I want to go hear his voice. I don't want to listen for anything past that. I just want to hear his voice. I just want to hear your voice. I want to hear people's voice around me, surround me with achievements of their own. We've succeeded, we've done this, we've done that, right? You want to feel that way towards your kids. You have a problem and a big siren that typically comes off like a police siren or a siren of a form of warning. A speaker will always come first before you can. a speaker will always come first. A speaker, as in someone verbalizing who you are, or someone or something, only resonates with who you are as a person, like your favorite song. That song has to what? Resonate with you in order for it to come off clean. So come off to you as, man, that's a good song because it resonates with me, right? And if you resonate with just a tinkering sound, like somebody dropping wood on a glass surface, if you like that tinkling, clunking with the mingling of tinkling, then that's okay. You're allowed to listen to that every single day if you wanted. If you wanted to overindulge in that sound, I know that sound, as long as you're not blasting it full on past your head's perception and you can hear it clean and it's crisp and clean, guess what? That's okay for you to listen to. And if it comes off as absolute harmony and music to you versus Mozart, then that's okay too. Now, I made a music video a while back, and that music video really resonated with myself as well as other people that heard it, and I just simply called it It's Okay. And it is okay. That video, to me, I wish I could have, and I don't say wish, I mean wish in a expressive term, because it already happened. I already made it happen. What I would have changed would have been more people involved. There was only 2 of us out there. One person, another person, and a camera. And then I decided to make the music from scratch because I wanted something that was calming. And the calming stuff is what typically opens up your head to other things that when you're in a higher state of thinking, like you're thinking on a lot of things, and you're involved in a lot of things, your hands are involved. Typically people listen to higher raised frequencies of music. Well, have you ever tried listening to synth waves or something as stable that represents stability while you're involved in all that? Trust me, it helps. Oh my gosh. It has saved me from saying the wrong thing to the wrong people at the wrong time. So that's all I wanted to say about speakers, guys. There's always going to be a word first before you come into this picture. You came into this world, and guess what? Somebody said there's a president before you could say, maybe I should vote for somebody. There was already a president here, right? So there was already a higher authority here, right? So there's always going to be that. Who's the guy that came into place and said it all was something, right? Who's the woman that came into place and said it all was? The original mother. The original father went and took care of business. And the original mother took care of business as well. She did it in her own form. He did it in his own form. And it wasn't questioned because he did it in his own strength, and so did she. And her strength, he was amazed at, because how did you just bring another person into this world? Imagine that. The first woman and the first man on this earth said, wow, I am not the first one because there's another. So what that told everybody, if there was only one human in this entire world, like, or I should say one human race, as in one man, one woman, if that's all there is, and if that's the reality that we're given in this world, that there's only one man and one woman, However, which way they decide to look at themselves is completely up to them. But are they a productive team? But at the same time, you have to also consider what makes the meaning of life so significant to everybody right now as it stands. Other people. Other people make or break how you feel about yourself, right? So that's not to say like everybody's a narcissist. I'm not saying everybody's a narcissist. What I'm saying is you just present what you want this world to be. The surrounding, the environment, the workplace you go to every day. You want this world different. It starts with you, but it doesn't take a long time to fix. And I don't ever want you guys to feel like, oh, well, this ain't working out for me, so let me just put my head down. Let me close my eyes. Let me shut off this world around me because I don't like what's here. Well, that's when Devin decided, no, I want to see you. I want to see my woman. I want to see joy in other people's eyes. And I do get to see that because I chose it first with myself. Yes, you're going to hurt some people's feelings in the way of joy because joy is such a strong force that can't be stopped. Whether that looks like somebody of the same sex just doing it for a funny reason, right? Like, let's just go get married. We don't believe in any of that stuff, but let's go get married. It's funny to me, and it's funny to both of us, but we just happen to be roommates. We don't have to do the we don't have to do all that. So, but every person around them is going to go, you guys are different. You got la la la, right? Everybody's going to tell you you're different when you're not doing the same thing they're doing. Make it known to the world when you step into your next day that it's not all about you, but you are willing to live through it not being all about you, about all being you. It's really simple. You just can't expect when you wake up in the morning that everybody's going to put a bottle in your mouth. You have to go to the store and buy those bottles yourself now, don't you? I go to the store and I only buy a little 6-pack of beer, and that 6-pack lasts me until the 6th beer is not as sparkly as it used to be. That little crisp that you get, or whatever your taste is. I don't really drink a lot of beer, and it's not really of my palate. What is of my palate is seeing you guys succeed and seeing the power of joy express itself on a large scale. Let me bring that scale to you. Let me show you what it really means to exist, live, and conquer those that keep you from joy. Your narcissists in place, your management you can't stand, your parents. It's all valid what you feel. We have these beautiful things called speakers to help us understand ourselves, because what we all listen to is what is existing. So I hope that puts a cap on it for you guys. I love talking about with the understanding that I could not be listened to. But maybe there's one person in this video that needs to hear this. But your matter is the only matter that matters. That's truistic. That's true. Your matter is the only matter that matters. And this world is gonna one day lose you And that's when the world is going to mourn for you. That's why it's called mourning. We wake up in the morning, we wake up already sad. Why do you think they put those words in our language as a play on words? I'm using the English language back on itself. It's a backmasked language. It don't resonate with me. I want to see all the words used in the English language for you to watch and to see success play out in your life. Come to my house and I will give you a foot massage. I'll wash your feet. I have a nice big pan that I use to purify and it's just a pan. It's just a pan I got from Dollar General down the street. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy, but I will literally put your feet in that nice temperature that resonates with the temperature of your skin. And well, the skin tells me what the temperature is on the inside. If I can resonate with that and put your feet in that same state, as the water cools off, so will you. Let me give you one of those. And unfortunately, I'm the only one that can do it. But then let me put words into your head that are going to you can't be reversed. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't reverse how when you show up to this house, you're going to be a changed person, and people are going to look at you like you're a whole new person with all the same memory files as the person before they saw. So what I'm saying is, come to my house and let me show you what is, and then let me show you what is yours. So that's what I'm excited about. That's what I get so hype about, and I can't help but talk about things in that matter because I understand it's real. Where did I see it first? Because only seeing is believing. Where did I see it first? You can have abundant blessings added to you. One drive makes that happen. One drive. One little drive to one guy's house, and then when you leave that house, you leave, and the whole world is on your side at that point. The whole entire world. The powers of the world, the powers that be, the powers that are in place right now, called our systems, our authorities, all those things that are in place right now will be up for your grabs after you leave this house. Coming to this house, as we are calling the House of King Spite, make it known that there is something of substance here that is going to succeed you, want you to succeed. There's a difference. People go to these establishments to look for a type of success without looking at it in themselves first. You have to look at it in yourself first. And if you don't know how to do that, and you don't know how to see that, and you are humble enough to listen to the rest of this video, and you're this far into it, if you're humble enough to listen, at least humor the person that is at least expressing in the most genuine way possible that he cares. Now, I'm here. That's the difference between me and all these gods in place, is I'm here. You want to get rid of me, my words will never ever be shut off, because unfortunately the fountain of true is never going away. I'm just tapping into a power source that is going to change you and give you abilities that you never knew you had when you were born, because it was so diluted in your head growing up that you didn't have those things. I want to apologize for this life that did that thing to you, but I'm not going to apologize for the person, the beautiful person that will be standing in front of me, right? Like the one person that comes and just says, hey, I just have a question about this, and that's it. I will gladly answer that question. Or if it's a person of strife that's like, hey, okay, well, what do you think about this? Hey guys, hold on, watch me ask this question. What do you guys think of this? It's how you're putting it out that I know, So they don't want to see an answer. Someone who lives in strife does not want to see an answer. They just want to be seen. I want to see you. I want to see you succeed. I want to see you get to where you need to go in the most fast way possible. Come to my house, and I will give you that safety net that shows you, hey, I can achieve and then receive my results, and it doesn't wrong anybody. Because unfortunately, we do that to ourselves, where we tell ourselves we're wrong in a lot of areas when we're actually pretty right. You're pretty spot on. If you came to me and said, whatever's on your head right now, like whatever you laid out to me, I'm going to answer you with what needs to be said to a person going through that. I understand your circumstance. But that's what's said from every person that doesn't understand it. It's like you go to whatever, like a friend or a best friend and such, and you hear them say, I know what you're going through, man. And that's the biggest lie that's ever been told. Or I know what you're, girl, I know. You don't, because that person is going through something completely different than you've ever experienced. It's not I know. Stop saying that. You don't know what that person's going through. Stop saying it for everybody's sake. You don't know what everybody's going through. You don't. What you say is, I'm here to help any way I can. And I'll kill if somebody doesn't kill off, not in like murder a person or anything. I mean, just kill off what is keeping that result from getting to you. Kill it off. For you. I will kill it off for you, because your life and your best life is waiting for you to make one decision. You'll leave my house with the strongest head on those two shoulders. Those beautiful little illustrations of structure. Your spine resembles the most purest form of structure. Structure that is of the sign. That's the reason why it's called a spine. It has a sine wave curve to it, and you can't escape that reality. Your back has the shape of exactly what backs life in general. I really hope you guys see what I'm trying to say. I really do mean that literally, and I won't leave it in any kind of open context there. No, you literally have to come to my house, my physical residency, and listen, and that's it. That's it. And then everything else, like, I'd love to rub your feet. I'd love to wash your feet and see you in a state like that state that I see people in, where they are stopping and listening, because it's like, okay, they're stopping and listening, but not to say like, oh, I just want to be the only voice you hear. No. I don't even want to be the one talking and want to be the one saying it. But guess what? If nobody else is going to tell you that your matter is the only matter that matters, then somebody's got to do it. Somebody has to. Somebody in this world has to step in and say that, in order to destroy what is in place that keeps you from your result, your best life, your heaven, your Elysium, your higher place. So let me get you there. I want to show you how to get there. I know how to get there. And it's not that hard. And they make it seem hard. They, as in all the negative influences, make it seem hard, but it's not. You can achieve everything you want if you stop and listen. Love you guys, and I just can't wait to see you. I know that I'm in a time frame right now making this video where there's a few people that are already starting to pop up here and there saying, hey, and present questions. But I just hate being the one talking. I want to see you just, boom, be successful. Whether that looks like something completely different than me, go be successful. And don't wrong anybody. Just boom, there it is. There's success, because you walked out of this house and I completely pushed your soul's space. I realigned your space and showed you, wait, now I can see clear, right? So I love you guys. I'm so excited about just expressing it, putting it out there, getting you guys where you need to be. I want to see it. And I'm so excited for you guys. So excited. I love you. And that will always be so, but I won't always be able to say that. Like, it won't always be able to be pushed out of my throat to say, hey, I love you. I can't say that. And then sometimes it's not the right timing when I'm here in the living, right? Like, I'm here in the living and I can't always tell a person like that I work with, hey man, I love you, because there's a lot of noise going on and it's explosive. That's just my job dynamic. Your job dynamic's going to look completely different. But if you have the opportunity to tell somebody and the timing is right, it's only impactful and it only sticks to that person, and it only, gets the point across in the right timing.